What is going on, guys? Welcome to another match review with me, Dan. 2-2, another Desmond against Brentford. A dreadful first half performance. Really lackluster defending. Getting beaten by literally just getting a ball kicked over the top. It was very much schoolboy stuff. But there was some fight shown, a little bit like when we played Arsenal. And I'm happy to say that because when I was doing the watch along, I was extremely negative because the first half, for me, was starting to show that we're right. The people that are saying Wolves need to start proving themselves against teams that they should be proving themselves against, if that makes sense. Yes, okay, Brentford have done very well this season, but when you put them next to the likes of Liverpool, Villa, all these teams, those are the teams that at the start of the season, Wolves should be doing decent against Brentford, at least getting a point or, at least showing something, showing a good account for themselves. And that was the worry, wasn't it? That if Wolves started to play these other teams and we saw a lack of quality and players kind of going back on themselves from how we've seen them recently, that was the worry for me. And in the first half, I was starting to think that was definitely the case. Second half changed things. I thought it was quite a bizarre change. Takes off Matheus Mane, brings on Angel Gomez, who I don't think particularly won us the game. At least say won us the game, got us any goals, or was key to any of those goals, or even much of our attacking movement. Really, it was a kind of like for like sub in the sense that they were both very samey when they both were playing. So I wouldn't say it was the change that made a difference, but Tolu coming on definitely gave us a different dynamic, and I do think Brentford started struggling. I actually think in the second half as well, João Gomez and Andre woke up. I think if Andre and João Gomez actually start the way they did in that second half, I actually think we don't even lose this match or draw this match. I think that could have been a very, very different prospect because Wolves just weren't stopping the ball at source at all today in any aspect in that first half. We just weren't pressing them enough. We weren't showing a good accountability of ourselves at all, and it was just looking very one-sided. It just looked like this was only going to end one way. But luckily for us, we've got some players that have got a bit of fire in their belly. And when people are literally giving up, they're showing something more. And that is very, very good to see. The problem is with me is we need to start seeing a first half performance from Wolves, because we can't just keep climbing mountains for the rest of the season. We have to at least perform well in the first half of football. It was interesting today because it wasn't as if we were playing like we have been recently, where we're just pinned back and we're just defending for our lives. It was almost like we were trying to give them a little bit more of a game, and that was almost what was key to us being so poor in the first half, because we're just allowing them so much space to get behind us. And not the best watch for the first half. But anyway, let's talk about with some stats. I think that Wolves definitely improved in the second half, but let's talk about that first half. This first half for me is really poor. We get one single shot on target, which was a goal. We really were under the cosh. And to be honest with you, Brentford probably should have finished us off a lot quicker, really. And like, we'll talk about the rest of the game, obviously, but there was a lot of moments in this game which definitely could have been sliding doors moments, where we hit the post, we hit the bar, they hit the post and whatever. There was some very, very close things happening. And then the other thing that was crazy, the other thing that was absolutely mad, was that they miss a chance right at the end. And man, like that was insane. But yeah, look, if you watch this, look at this first half stats, not great. We then move into the second half, and you can see a massive improvement. Our XG is considerably better. Yeah, all these figures are great. All these figures are great. We've shown a lot more commitment to pass the ball and to make things happen. And yeah, I was happy with that second half performance. That first half, though, just can't happen. It can't happen. Like, the problem is with this team, there's just not consistency. There's no consistency in the team whatsoever. And if you play like that every single game, you are going to get punished in the first half, and you're going to find it absolutely impossible to get back like we did today. But we did. So let's talk about it. This is how Wolves lined up. We played Sarr in goal, Krejci, Bueno, Mosquera, Jackson Chitreya, and Hugo Bueno, Andre and João Gomez, Bellegarde, Mane, and Armstrong. And yeah, they score a goal, and all of their attacking play was the same today. By the way, it was just balls over the top, and we just could not fucking deal with it at all. We were just sixes and sevens throughout defending any sort of Brentford attack, and yeah, it cost us. It absolutely cost us. It was a great goal from Brentford, to be fair to him. It's a brilliant ball in, and it's a fantastic header, and you just don't stop those. My only issue is watching it back. Defenders need to be tighter to these attackers. It's insane how much room they got in that first half. And then another one, ball over the top, this time from their goalkeeper, bounces, and it's a good touch, to be fair. It's then brought along the box, and then Thiago with a tap in. And honestly, it looked game over at that moment. It was 37 minutes in. It looked like it was game over, I'm not going to lie. But just before the half-time whistle, Armstrong gets a goal back. A little bit of controversy whether it was a back pass that just before this goal happened, and I've watched it back, and it does actually look like a back pass. So we got away with one there. And if that was happening against us, I'd be fuming. So I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and tell you that that's on, because it shouldn't be. It's awful refereeing to not see that. But anyway, it goes in Wolves' favour, because from a Brentford mistake, the ball ends up nicely into the path of Bellegarde. Bellegarde does really well charging forward. I thought Bellegarde was really good today, actually. Gives it to Armstrong, who I actually thought was really, really good as well. The only two good players in that first half created that goal, and they did it on their own. I was saying in the watch-along, I need someone to take the game by the scruff of the neck, and those two players in that first half were the only two players to do that. And then the mad thing is, we go in at 2-1, and I felt really negative. I felt that we didn't show enough. We've let 2 goals happen. We haven't defended very well, which is something that we've not seen recently, other than the FA Cup fixture against Liverpool. We've looked pretty solid. And today we look awful. We literally just couldn't keep a line. We couldn't stop any sort of attack. But lo and behold, in the second half, I actually think they started performing a lot better. The midfield definitely upped their game. Andre and João Gomez definitely upgraded. My favourite, Jackson Chichaya, definitely upgraded in that second half. Actually started doing things like he should be doing. In that first half, was absolutely shite again, by the way. But we'll talk about player scores at the end. But yeah, right at the depth. Well, not really right at the depth, but Tolu comes on, gives us a different element, two players to aim for instead of one. And it's really good actually work from Mosquera to keep it alive on the edge of the box. Gives it to João Gomez. João Gomez, fantastic ball. And it kind of cuts Brentford in two, really. I don't think they're expecting the ball to be whipped into that area. And then it's just a brilliant header from their standpoint, from a Tolu standpoint. It's a fantastic header. 2-2. And honestly, at that moment, it genuinely could have gone anywhere. Tolu hits the bar from a header. Honestly, if he scuffs that header, it's 3-2. He hits it so cleanly, he hits the bar. And then what's absolutely mad is Brentford miss right at the end. And I was just waiting for it. I was waiting for the net to bulge, and it didn't, because it's gone wide. And that is, without doubt, one of the worst misses I've seen all season. Free header in the 6-yard box, and he somehow does it wide. But yeah, it's a fantastic goal from Armstrong, by the way. I haven't really talked about that too much, but the touch he takes to get away from his defender is really, really good. He knows that the player can't turn, so he manages to get on the ball really, really easily. But the finish is fantastic, by the way. If that's what we're going to be used to seeing in the in the next season, that sort of play by Armstrong, then we've got a player on our hand there, because that's a fantastic striker finish. So I was really, really happy about that. Really, really happy about him scoring. And then I love when there's impact from the bench. And I really, really, really wanted Rodrigo Gomez to come on. And he does actually come on. And to be honest to him, at the end, wins us a corner and shows just why we should be playing him, because he's got so much pace. But yeah, it's really, really a really well-worked goal from Wolves on the second time of asking as well. Really good movement from Tolu in this action, because I was watching it back and he really aims so hard to get onside and get the other side of his defender. It's actually really, really good centre forward play. But it's a great pass from João Gomez. Yeah, absolutely buzzing to get something from this game, because at the first time, I genuinely thought in the first half, I thought we were really, really poor and completely not at the races at all. Whereas in the second half, much, much better. And yeah, let's talk about the players. Jose Sarr, I thought in the first half was really, really 6s and 7s. I actually don't think he's fit, to be honest. He was nursing a bit of an injury, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for that. But, wow. Our whole back line today was dreadful. Dreadful. Especially in the first half. But even in the second, to be honest, we weren't defensively sound at all in that back three. It was very, very strange. Not something that I'm used to seeing from this Wolves side. So, yeah, I can't really give him any good scores. I think that all three of them were particularly pretty bad, to be honest. Even Mr. Reliable Santi Bueno. I thought Hugo Bueno, by the way, is probably the worst game I've seen him play in a very long time. He looked leggy. At times, it didn't look like he could really get that lethal cross in. The only lethal cross he does get is when Arakadare hits the bar. And he's quite unlucky, actually, because it's a good ball into him. And if that's a goal, you're kind of thinking, you know what, fair play. Honestly, if he scuffs that header, I've already said this, but if he scuffs that header, it's 3-2. That's how close this game was. There were so many sliding door moments. Joe Gomez, brilliant assist. Him and Armstrong were pretty shit in the first half and woke up a lot more in the second. And thank God they did, because that's really where everything came from a Wolves perspective, was our midfield actually woke up and started doing the right things for once. But yeah, Reece Nelson missing that chance at the end is huge for us, because I'd have been fuming, to be fair, because we really, really fought back to get something from the game, and I feel like we deserved something in the end. So I'd have been really annoyed if we'd have conceded that chance. But Jackson Chichoya in the first half, awful. Genuinely terrible. Terrible. But in the second half, managed to use his legs more, managed to get into some good areas more. His first touch was better. His passing movement was better. Just all around better in the second half. Bellegarde, I thought, was fantastic in the first half. And I honestly felt pretty bad that he came off, to be honest. Because I thought he was fantastic the whole game. I'm wondering whether he was a bit leggy towards the end of the game. Maybe that's why he came off. Tejas Mane, I thought, was poor in the first half, but I don't think he warranted being taken off, in my opinion, for Angel Gomez. That was a really weird substitution for me, but I think the reason why he's done it is because he's put Angel Gomez in that midfield to thicken it up to give us a midfield three. So we're playing like a 3-5-2-1. A 3-5-1. 3-5-2, sorry. 3-5-2. Sorry, it's been a long day. And I think that's ultimately what got us a little bit more joy. So in hindsight, maybe it is a good substitution, but at the time it just felt a bit strange. But yeah, I mean, fair play to Mane. He's done so well for us this season. He probably deserves a rest, to be honest. Armstrong, I think it's his best game in a Wolves shirt. Even before he scored, he was all over them like a rash, and he was all over the pitch. I really love his work rate. His work rate is absolutely remarkable, really. I'm struggling to think of words to describe it there, but his work rate is fantastic, and he deserved a goal today. He definitely deserved a goal. I really apologise for yawning, guys. It's been a long day. But yeah, Wolves manage to get something from this game, and fair play, because I genuinely am not just saying it. I was tapped out after that first half. I just thought, there's just no way we're getting back into this, even if we've just got a goal before the half time. I just think we just didn't look good defensively. But thankfully, yeah, things are switched on in the second half. We just need to maintain that way we play in the second half. We need to maintain that longer in the first as well, because it's going to cost us. I know that the season's pretty much done, but we've got to go out fighting now. And we need to see the players that are going to play for us in the Championship start to show levels in the Premier League, so that we can start to feel a little bit more comfortable with these players staying, basically. But yeah, guys, that is Brentford versus Wolves. I genuinely thought this was going to be a 0-0 game. I didn't really think there was going to be much to it, but there you go, 2-2. And we'd have took that probably at the start, I guess. I know we were all desperate for wins, but especially with that Reece Nelson miss at the end, I think a point probably really good for us. So yeah, I want to go because I'm absolutely shattered. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like and subscribing, hitting that notification bell so you don't miss future videos. And I'll see you on the next one in a bit.